Selam. Welcome to another session with me. In this lesson, we'll look at two dialogues in the course book. So if your book is open, please turn on the page 8 and 9. These dialogues will be about exchanging a small chat, asking, hey, how are you? I'm fine. What about you? Thanks, basically. So let me share my screen to show you which dialogues we'll look at. Page 8, and this is the first dialogue. And page 9, this is the second dialogue. As you can see, this is quite the formal setting, yeah? And here, this is the informal setting. Well, we have two separate dialogues because the language changes when you communicate with someone you don't know and someone you're familiar with. Now, let's have a look at the phrases together before we look at the dialogue. After we understand the phrases, make sure the pronunciation is clear, then we will read the dialogue together and practice it, okay? Just a moment, please. Okay, there we go. So, this is the first phrase, selam. It's a form of greeting and it means hi. Another way to say selam is merhaba. Okay. Selam. Selam. Merhaba. Merhaba. Merhaba. As you might have noticed, we don't pronounce H sound. But usually in Turkish, you pronounce each word. Okay, this is an exception. Merhaba. Next is our main phrase, asking, how are you? Nasılsın? Nasılsın? Nasılsın? We use this phrase when we know the person, we are friends, or it's just an informal setting. You don't have to be friends. Sometimes people are just friendly when they first meet someone. It's okay to be informal. It can also break the ice. But if you want to be formal, the next phrase is nasılsınız? Nasılsınız? Nasılsınız? As you see, is added to the phrase. Only 2 letters, okay? Maybe you've also noticed we have some words in the brackets. Sen is subject you for the informal version. Siz is the formal version for subject you. Okay. Well, it's optional. You don't have to use it because in the phrase nasılsın, the subject is already added in the prefix here, which you will study in the future. Don't worry about it now too much. Just try to memorize these phrases. But there is something you need to bear in mind. If you are the first person asking, nasılsın is how you go. But if you are returning with the same question, then you're most likely to add sen or siz. Okay, it's more, I think, to emphasize. So you asked me, nasılsın? Sen nasılsın? How are you? How are you yourself? So, if it makes sense. And as an answer, let's be positive, okay? I will just teach you how to say I'm fine, okay? İyiyim. İyiyim. And the next phrase, I'm fine too, is ben de iyiyim. Ben de iyiyim. So maybe you've just noticed this word, de. In the previous session we looked at, which adds the meaning of to. Do you remember? It's when you meet someone, what is the phrase you say? Nice to meet you. Memnun oldum. When you return with the same response, ben de memnun oldum. As you see, it's the same logic here too. This is the subject ben. So when you're returning with a similar response, with a similar question, you add the subject here too. Ben de iyiyim. Sen nasılsın? Siz nasılsınız? Okay? So last, we end by saying thank you. And there are two ways to say thank you in Turkish. The short way is teşekkürler. Teşekkürler. Teşekkürler. Or you could also say teşekkür ederim. Teşekkür ederim. Teşekkür ederim. Okay, now we finished studying the phrases. We can have a look at the dialogues together. Let me share my screen with you. So this is the first dialogue, and that's the informal setting, as you see, between Dilek and Zeynep. Two popular Turkish names. Let's read it. Selam Zeynep. Nasılsın? İyiyim. Teşekkür ederim. Sen nasılsın? Teşekkürler. Ben de iyiyim. Okay, now let's have a look at the other dialogue on page 9, the formal setting. Okay, between Pınar Hanım and Levent Bey. By the way, Hanım is an attribute for women. It's like Miss in English, and Bey is an attribute for man. And similarly, it's like Mr. in English. And we don't add it before the noun, we add it after the noun. Okay? So, nasılsınız Levent Bey? Teşekkür ederim. İyiyim. Siz nasılsınız? Teşekkürler. Ben de iyiyim. Okay, so let's practice this together. Merhaba. Nasılsınız? Well, your response is expected to be in the comments down below. Please leave a comment and say how you're feeling. And I just want to see the positive vibes. And I wish you a great day. Bye. Görüşürüz.